You think your last name can save you? Let me tell you about the moment a 32-year-old man learned it can't. November. Providence, Rhode Island. My courtroom. I'm looking at a guy in a $3,000 suit, Rolex catching the overhead lights. And this smile. This cocky, untouchable smile that tells me he's never lost anything in his life. His name is Derek Cole, and 3 days ago, he put a 70-year-old man in the hospital. But here's the thing that's eating at me as I watch him stroll in like he's attending a country club brunch. The man he hurt, Vietnam veteran, Marine, Purple Heart recipient, ran into burning buildings for 30 years as a firefighter. And Derek doesn't even look at him. Walks right past this American hero sitting there with his arm in a cast, wearing his veteran's cap, and acts like he's passing a park bench, invisible. I've been a judge for almost 4 decades. I've seen killers show more respect. So let me paint you the picture of what actually happened, because this is where it gets ugly. Roger Williams Park, beautiful autumn afternoon. Robert Martinez is walking his dog. Just a peaceful walk. The kind of thing a man earns after surviving 2 tours in Vietnam and 30 years of pulling people out of fires. Then here comes Derek in his BMW, flying through a park zone, damn near hits Martinez. Robert does what any of us would do, raises his hand. Universal gesture for slow down, man. You know what Derek does? Slams on his brakes. Gets out of his car, walks up to this 70-year-old veteran and shoves him to the ground so hard it breaks 3 ribs and fractures his wrist. Then, and this is the part that made my blood cold when I read it, Derek stands over him and says, "You know who I am. My father's the police chief. Call the cops. I dare you." Then drives away, left a decorated war hero bleeding on the concrete. There were 3 witnesses, plus security cameras. The whole thing went viral within 48 hours. Providence was ready to riot. Now he's standing in my courtroom and I'm asking him, "How do you plead?" His lawyer jumps up. Expensive guy. The kind that makes DUIs disappear for rich kids. But I don't want to hear from the lawyer. I want to hear from Derek. He stands up, takes his time, adjusts his jacket like he's posing for GQ, looks me dead in the eye, and says one word. Ridiculous. The entire proceeding is ridiculous. That's his answer. Now, I've been doing this long enough to read a man's soul through his body language. This isn't nervousness. This isn't fear or shame or regret. This is annoyance. He's annoyed he has to be here. Like getting called into the principal's office when you're absolutely certain Daddy's gonna fix it with one phone call. I take off my glasses, slowly. That's my tell. People who know me, they know when the glasses come off. Someone's about to get a wake-up call. Ridiculous, I repeat back to him. I tell him I've seen the hospital photos. The x-rays showing 3 broken ribs. The security footage that's been playing on every news station in Rhode Island. You want to rethink that word? Derek glances at his lawyer. The lawyer's making these desperate hand signals. Shut up, sit down, stop talking. But Derek's ego is a runaway train. This whole thing is blown out of proportion, he says. Some old guy stepped in front of my car. I barely touched him. And now I'm being treated like a criminal. Some old guy. The courtroom goes silent. You could hear a pin drop on carpet. This man just called a Marine combat veteran. Some old guy. Even my court reporter stopped typing. I stand up, walk around from behind my bench. I don't do this often, maybe 5, 6 times in 38 years. But when I do it, people know something's shifted. I'm standing right in front of Derek now. Do you know who Mr. Martinez is? Derek shrugs. Actually shrugs. Like I'm asking if he knows what's on the lunch menu. Some guy who was in my way. That's when Robert Martinez stands up, slowly, carefully, supporting himself with his one good arm, and with this quiet dignity that you can't fake, that only comes from a lifetime of sacrifice. He introduces himself. United States Marine Corps. 2 tours, Vietnam, 68 to 71. Purple Heart, Bronze Star for Valor, Providence Fire Department, 30 years, saved 47 lives. His voice doesn't waver, doesn't ask for sympathy, just states facts. Then sits back down. I turn to Derek. You understand what you just heard? Derek's starting to look uncomfortable now. The armor's cracking just a little. But then he says the thing that seals his fate. I didn't know he was a veteran. As if that matters. As if assault is only wrong when the victim has the right resume. As if a human being's value is measured by their service record. That's the moment I realize Derek doesn't just need jail time. He needs his soul rebuilt from the foundation up. But then something happens that nobody in that room saw coming. I look toward the back. Last row. Chief Cole, I say, would you please come forward? Every head in that courtroom spins around. And there he is. Police Chief Thomas Cole, Derek's father. He's been sitting there the entire time, in civilian clothes, watching his son self-destruct in real time. Derek's face goes white. Like he's seen a ghost. The confidence evaporates. The smirk dies. For the first time since he walked in, he looks scared. Chief Cole walks down that center aisle, each step echoing. 35 years in law enforcement. You can see it in the way he moves. That bearing. That presence. He stands at attention in front of my bench. I thank him for being here. Acknowledge this can't be easy. And then I ask the question everyone's thinking. Your son seems to believe your position will protect him. Would you like to address that? Chief Cole takes a breath. When he speaks, his voice is steady, but you can hear the heartbreak underneath. Your Honor, my son is wrong. I've spent 35 years wearing this badge, chasing down criminals, protecting the innocent, putting my life on the line for this city. Not once did I think my badge gave me or my family permission to break the law. He pauses, collects himself. I watched the security footage, day after it happened. I know exactly what my son did to Mr. Martinez. I'm not here as Police Chief Cole. I'm here as Thomas Cole, a father who failed. His voice cracks. I thought I taught him right from wrong. Respect, service, humility, somewhere. I failed. Derek's crying now. Real tears. First genuine emotion I've seen from him. But his father isn't done. I love my son. That will never change. But love doesn't mean protecting him from consequences. Love means holding him accountable so he can become who he's meant to be. Then, Chief Cole looks directly at me. Whatever sentence you give, Your Honor, I support it. Fully. My son assaulted a war hero. Showed zero remorse. He needs to face the full weight of justice. He pauses. In fact, I'm asking you to be even harder on him than you normally would. Because if he doesn't learn this now, he'll hurt someone else. Maybe worse next time. I've seen courage before. I've seen people stand up for strangers, for principles, for justice. But watching a father choose accountability over protecting his child's mistakes? That's a different kind of brave. Chief Cole could have made this disappear. One phone call, some backroom deal. Charges dropped quietly. Instead, he's standing here, asking me to come down harder on his own son. The sentence, 90 days in county jail. 200 hours community service at the VA hospital. Working directly with elderly veterans. 1 full year of anger management. Written apologies to Mr. Martinez and every officer involved. But I wasn't finished. Derek would record a video apology, post it on the Providence PD's social media. Explain what he did, why it was wrong, and what he's doing to fix himself. After his sentence, he'd speak to every incoming class of police recruits about privilege, accountability, and what happens when you think you're above the law. And Chief Cole added one more thing. Derek, you're moving out. You're 32 years old. You've been living under my roof, under my protection. That ends today." As they processed Derek for custody, Chief Cole walked over, father and son, face to face. And then the chief pulled him into a hug, held him tight, whispered something only Derek could hear. Later, someone told me what he said. "I love you, but I love you enough to let you face this. You're going to get through it. And when you do, you'll be the man I always knew you could be." 6 months later, Derek walks out of jail. Different man. You can see it in his eyes. The 200 hours at the VA hospital, he kept going, became a regular volunteer. He met with Robert Martinez, private meeting. Both men said later it was healing. Martinez became his mentor, teaching him about service, sacrifice, real strength. Derek's video apology, 3 million views. Young people all over the country watched what real accountability looks like. And Chief Cole? His approval ratings went up, because the city saw integrity in action. A man willing to sacrifice personal comfort for principle. But here's what really gets me. When I asked Robert Martinez if he had anything to say that day, you know what he said? "Your Honor, I don't want revenge. I just want this young man to understand that every person deserves respect, no matter their age, their rank, their position. If Derek learns that, then all of this was worth it." That's grace. That's the kind of grace that changes lives. Because justice isn't just about punishment. It's about transformation. It's not just about enforcing laws. It's about teaching humanity. And sometimes, when we're very, very lucky, it reminds us that real love isn't shielding people from consequences. It's walking through those consequences with them so they can come out better on the other side. Derek Cole walked into my courtroom thinking his last name would save him. He walked out learning that the only thing that saves you is who you choose to become when everything's stripped away. That's the lesson. That's what I learned from 3 men that day: an entitled son, a heartbroken father, and a gracious veteran. If this story hit you somewhere deep, type accountability in the comments. Let me know you felt this.